The airlines tonight, higher education institutions are due to conduct extensive research to expedite development in Ethiopia. And the Chinese ambassador calls on Chinese investors to engage in Ethiopia's manufacturing sector. Hello and welcome to Addis News Hour. I'm Len Kasahun with the news. Delta University started today celebrating its annual research and book fairs week with the main theme fostering socio-economic development at the core of innovation and entrepreneurship in the presence of various senior government officials, the university community, and invited guests. In order to hasten Ethiopia's economic development, high-ranking government officials stated during the event that higher education institutions must conduct substantial research and must step up their efforts in the fields of technology and innovation. Kasonjani has more.
The Addis Ababa University has organized a 4-day consultative meeting and a presence of members of the university community, high government officials including Finance Minister Ahmed Shide, Planning and Development Minister Fuzuma Safa, and Minister of Innovation and Technology Belata Molla, as well as invited dignitaries. On top of that, the university is commemorating its annual Research and Book Fairs Week under its motto, fostering socio-economic development at the core of innovation and entrepreneurship. It was stated that numerous study findings and breakthroughs in technology would be showcased during a week. At the event's opening ceremony, Ahmed Shide, the Minister of Finance, and Belata Molla, the Minister of Innovation and Technology, said that Ethiopia is experiencing continuous economic growth as a result of domestic economic reforms and that increasing efforts in the area of technology and innovation in this digital space are crucial.
The government of Ethiopia has implemented several reforms to lay a foundation for durable and sustainable development in the country. Following the conclusion of Homegrown Economic Reform 1, the government is now finalizing the second generation of Homegrown Economic Reform 2, which aims at sustaining development, rehabilitating the reconstruction of the economy which has been impacted by the conflict, and also advancing private sector-led growth, while also correcting the macroeconomic imbalances, particularly addressing the issue of inflation, forex challenges, and the issue of employment creation is fundamental as part of the new homegrown economic reform agenda.
It is often mistakenly suggested that innovation by entrepreneurs is less important for growth in low-income developing countries than in more advanced countries. But the economic growth of a country, in reality, not only depends on the natural resources, but also on the effective use of those resources, that is entrepreneurship. Therefore, for developing countries, innovation does not only refer to development of a new product or new process or the use of new technologies, but also refer to the capacity to creatively absorb mature technologies.
Both the president of Addis Ababa University, Tasa Waldahana, and the Minister of Planning and Development, Fuzuma Safa, stated that higher education institutions should contribute to the effort to address the challenges facing a country by acquiring extensive experience to boost the nation's economy.
As we all know, research is the backbone of progress. Through rigorous inquiry, critical thinking, and experimentation, we uncover new insights, challenge existing paradigms, and push the boundaries of our understanding. In Ethiopia, a country where resources are scarce, research plays a crucial role in finding solutions to complex problems. It is through research and development that we can address pressing issues such as poverty, healthcare, education, climate change, and sustainable development.
This theme is very important and timely as our country has passed through several crises which has affected the economic and social issues of the community. Today, we will have a panel discussion in three main themes as at this hall, which brings all together where each college and institute will celebrate the same until 17th May, and we will reconvene again for closing where we will award best oral and poster presenters and other categories as necessary. The research group is not only research, but we will also have a book fair for 1 full week, a job fair where students and employers meet, and technology and innovators fair where innovative ideas and products will be displayed and student competition will be held.
It was mentioned that the Addis Ababa University is currently getting ready to become autonomous, which is firmly thought to strengthen its crucial actions in reference to resolve the socio-economic difficulties of the nation.
In another news, the Minister of Agriculture said implementing smart agriculture as well as solving financial constraints are said to be critical to enhance agricultural productivity in a bid to control the threat of poverty. Diplomatic communities and development partners who are residing in the African capital Addis Ababa has paid a visit to the agriculture exhibition organized by the Ministry of Agriculture and Agricultural Transformation Agency in Addis Ababa. Abdullah Shagari reports.
Ethiopia is adopting an agricultural development-led industrialization strategy to curb poverty and backwardness across the country. Thus, the agri-sector is one of the major key sectors that contributes a huge share in the nation's economy. Diplomatic communities and development partners who are residing in Addis Ababa have paid a visit to the agriculture exhibition that organized by the Ministry of Agriculture. Briefing journalists, Minister of Agriculture Girma Mente said the government of Ethiopia is prioritizing activities to enhance agricultural productivity.
The whole objective of this exhibition is to showcase the trajectory of our agricultural transformation from where we are to show where we are today and of course where we are heading to.
According to Amente, solving financial limitations in the agri-sector is fundamental to register further achievements.
We are talking about agricultural finance or rural finance for a long period of time in Ethiopia. Without finance, we cannot modernize agriculture. Without finance, we cannot transform agriculture.
Diplomatic communities and development partners for their part appreciated Ethiopia's achievement in the agri-sector.
As a member of the diplomatic community in Addis, we have been invited today this great agriculture area in Ethiopia under chairmanship of the Minister of Agriculture. So we have been realized that I think the agriculture area has been a great progress.
I am actually observed and it was very much interested Sri Lanka also agricultural country, and we had a very good interaction with the Minister of Agriculture, and also we visited many of the agricultural stalls, and we noted that there is a potentials that we can learn from each other and we can collaborate each other to advance our economies through agriculture.
Maura Chitma, who is representative of IFAD for his part, said IFAD is committed to extend its support that the developing economies in Africa to invest more on technology to boost the agri-sector.
Then I think there is need to develop homegrown technologies. We need to develop, starting from a very early age, promote STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths at an early stage in school. We need to build to make sure that people from these countries that are importing technologies are able to produce technologies for themselves, technologies that are specific to their conditions, and also learn from the technologies that are coming from abroad. So this mix of technologies is fundamental for us to improve production and productivity.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Agricultural Transformation Agency are opening the Agriculture Expo to promote as well as to attract anchor investors to do business in the agri-sector.
The Ethiopian peacekeeping forces deployed in Somalia are discharging their duties successfully and bravely. Head of Section 3 Brigadier General Besifat Fanti stated. Ethiopian Ambassador to Somalia, Mukhtar Mohammed Wari, military attaché of the Ethiopian Embassy in Somalia, Major General Lamar Gabro, and senior leaders visited the Ethiopian peacekeeping force in Somalia. Ambassador Mukhtar Mohammed said that the contribution of the Ethiopian peacekeeping forces in fighting the Al-Shabaab group, and especially in the fight against terrorism, is significant. The ambassador said that the peacekeeping forces' contribution to the people in government of Somalia is commendable and called on them to continue working with the security forces and the stakeholders to carry out their continental mission bravely.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
The Lower Omo Valley is an ancient land where people continue to live in contact with nature and far from modernity, where light and darkness dictate the pace of life.
I think
the people of the Omo Valley, they are untouched people and they have strong norms to keep their own culture, customs, whatever the norms. That's the way I think, even I'm worrying about even to maybe tourism getting to spoil them.
Loro venendo in contatto con noi.
In big towns now, it's global. Everybody has information through Facebook, through internet, so they are dreaming, their mind is everywhere. But here, wake up in the morning, taking coffee, walking with a goat to the field, coming back here, it's very easy.
The Lower Omo Valley may seem like a faraway land, but there's much to be learned from its inhabitants. We can't but admire their resilience, sense of community, and profound respect for nature. The Kara, Dasanit, Hamer, Arbore, Mursi, and all the other Omo tribes haven't lost their deep connection to what is real, what is tangible on this planet.
Welcome back. You are watching the live transmission of Addis News Hour from the African capital Addis Ababa. The Ministry of Health has indicated it is shouldering share in prevention efforts and expanding screening of breast and cervical cancers. This came at the 9th annual meeting opening ceremony of the Network for Oncology Research in Africa and launching ceremony of the African Cancer Registry Network have been held here in the capital Addis Ababa here today. As clear evidence about the non-communicable diseases help identify interventions, Dr. Leah Tedessa, Minister of Health, indicated the participation underscoring that such kind of networks help in a great deal. Tkasar Nisa, who attended the event, has the following report. Let's take a look.
The Network for Oncology Research in Africa is sponsored by Germany Ministry of Research and Education through GIZ, which is hosted by the Addis Ababa University School of Public Health. The NORA Consortium is committed to establish evidence-based cancer screening and treatment pathways applicable to sub-Saharan Africa, with primary focus on breast and cervical cancer, so as to generate policy recommendations for effective cancer control strategies. As clear evidences about the non-communicable diseases help identify interventions, Dr. Leah Kabede, Minister of Health, addresses the participants, underscoring that such kind of networks helps in a great deal.
These kinds of networks, I believe, will help to grow the African cancer surveillance to be really stronger. And the African Cancer Registry Network, with long-term objectives of supporting health systems and establishing research platforms, seeks to increase the effectiveness of cancer monitoring in sub-Saharan Africa by offering expert appraisal of present issues and technical assistance in overcoming identified challenges based on clear evidence, as we need these kinds of clear evidences to guide our interventions.
Leah further reiterated that the ministry is also playing its share in prevention efforts and expanding screening.
But as was mentioned earlier, it's not only about treatment, but also the prevention efforts and expanding screening, particularly with focus on cervical cancer. We have been expanding screening efforts with VIA in more than close to 1,200 facilities, primarily in those primary care facilities, and also the introduction of HPV vaccine since 2018 that has been happening in our country to avert cervical cancer.
Dr. Andualim Denneka, CEO of Addis Ababa University Health Science College, for his part stressed that despite multiple challenges, the Health College is trying level-based and delivering clinical services, training professionals, and also doing research on cancer.
Despite this, the College of Health Sciences, Addis Ababa University, is trying to work on its share on cancer. We are delivering clinical services, training professionals, and doing some research. In addition, we are developing strong partnership and collaborations.
Addressing participants, African also showed interest in working in partnership with NORA in terms of cancer registry system.
We very much appreciate this effort and really want to collaborate as much as practical and possible with NORA in terms of strengthening this cancer registry system, which is a very important aspect of surveillance system for non-communicable diseases and cancers in particular. I think so far in the evidence that we are gathering in terms of surveillance systems in Africa, it's becoming so evident that most of the countries in Africa don't actually have established surveillance systems, especially for non-communicable disease.
Addis Ababa University, together with Martin Luther University, Germany, the official coordinators of the NORA Consortium, which in addition includes other African partner institutions.
In another news, may her soul rest in peace. Hiruth Bekele, a formerly popular vocalist who later performed evangelical music, laid to rest at the age of 80. She was well known for her timeless music, and many Ethiopians liked her songs. Edith Bekele, who enthralled fans with magnificent musical works from the late 1950s until the early 1990s, is recognized for working most recently as a singer. Edith Bekele, a singer known for her work on Life is Like Clay and other lovely songs. She died on May 12 while seeking medical attention for her sickness both domestically and overseas. Edith Bekele was the great-grandmother of 7 children, the grandmother of 10, and the mother of 7. In business, the Chinese ambassador to Ethiopia, Dong Dian, recommended that Chinese business people to invest in Ethiopia's rewarding manufacturing sector. Talking to the Ethiopian news agency, the ambassador underscored that Ethiopia's highly youth population is a great potential for rewarding investment in manufacturing industries. Shagai Matazmar.
China's ambassador to Ethiopia, Zhao Zhuan, said Ethiopia has great potential for Chinese investors to engage in the rewarding manufacturing sector. The ambassador told Ethiopian news agency that Ethiopia has great potential in the industry and agriculture, particularly the manufacturing sector, as it is favorable and rewarding for Chinese investors.
I think the industrialization is a path to modernization. So in the manufacturing sector, I will encourage more Chinese companies to come here to do more work with our Ethiopia friends. I think this is a great potential.
According to him, the general Chinese investment in Ethiopia is increasing from time to time. He pointed out that China has recently allowed zero tariff entry of several thousands of Ethiopian products to its market. The political, economic, and people-to-people relationships are growing and expanding under the current leaderships of the two countries, according to the ambassador, and the relationship and ties in every area of cooperation will improve better in the future.
The Ethiopian Airlines is set to hold the 2023 Focus Africa Conference in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia in June. The International Air Transport Association IATA announced. IATA official press release earlier today indicated that the Focus Africa Conference will deliver into 6 priorities under IATA's Focus Africa initiative to strengthen aviation's contribution to the continent's economic and social development and improve connectivity, safety, and reliability for passengers and shippers. Speaking ahead of the conference, Masfin stated that Ethiopia is delighted to host IATA's Focus Africa Conference and welcome the aviation industry to our home country, Ethiopia, and the capital Addis Ababa. The conversation tackles address safely, aeronautical information management, intra-African connectivity, airport infrastructure, biometrics and security, modern airline retailing, sustainability, and skilled workforce from the Ethiopian Airlines. Projects built and being built by Dime for Nation and Sugar program play a significant role to build the country's image, Ethiopia's image to the outside world. The mega projects built in the capital Addis Ababa adds value to the transformation of Ethiopia's eco-tourism industry. Kushmal Sazmor.
Abinat Girma came from America to visit his family. During his 15 days stay in Addis Ababa, he preferred Friendship Square to the physical exercise.
በጣም ስፖርት ወዳለሁ።
I like doing physical exercises in such enchanting environment. It is 6 days since I have come here in Addis Ababa. The park is very mesmerizing and catchy. If such parks is built in many areas, it's important for children, the people and tourists.
በጣም አስፈላጊ ነው።
The other visitor, Tsagga Brana, appeared at Friendship Square to entertain her children. She said since the park is versatile, it is lively to recreational purpose.
I have 3 children. I usually come here to entertain them. It's convenient for children and youngsters too. There was no safe area for outing in the center of the city, but now Friendship Square and other built in the city become ideal place to spend some time frequently and get healthy refreshment.
Entoto Natural Park is a unique place to discover the most breathtaking ancient mountain nature with streams flowing from clear springs and waterfalls. It is an exciting place to see the capital Addis Ababa from the high altitude to down. Visitors said Entoto is an ideal place for tourism and to be esteemed by nature.
I have been here twice with my family. I suggest people to visit this important place. Addis Ababa has unique view from Entoto. What makes Entoto Park very unique is that it is nature. The central part of the city is very hectic and not suitable for recreation. I always admire nature. It is my type being here. Entoto is spotless with its fresh air. This has to be replicated in any other areas.
Service providers at Entoto Park said domestic and foreign tourist-centered recreational facilities contribute to the country's economy.
A lot of people come here for the fresh air. The tourists should get the service they deserve. We're working good and contributing to our country.
Part of the Information and Shagar project are being built in regional status.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
Tell me, how much do you like it here?
I like it here a lot, you know. It's got these little pigeonholes. If you look out, who's coming? Yeah. Sometimes when you're on buses and traveling around and hassling for taxis, you lose the passion, the love for traveling. But then you come to places like this and you sit down and you're the only ones here. It's really magical.
Welcome back. You're watching the live transmission of Addis News Hour from the African capital, Addis Ababa. Africa should promote supportive policies in the infrastructure development to attract green investment and boost trade through the African Continental Free Trade Area. The Economic Commission for Africa of the United Nations, based in Addis Ababa, has called on African countries to support the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area with harmonized continental, regional and national trade and industrial policies that will help move from ideas into action. It's known that the African Continental Free Trade Area entered into force in 2019 and continues a single continental market with a population of about 1.3 billion people and a combined GDP of approximately 2.5 trillion USD. At its full realization, the African Continental Free Trade Area, with the mandate of eliminating trade barriers, will be the largest free trade area in the world, bringing together the 54 countries from Africa. And finally, Turkey will hold a run-off vote to determine if President Recep Tayyip Erdogan extends his time in power into a third decade. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is facing the fiercest political challenge of his 20 years in power. He and his main challengers said they were ready for a runoff after neither seemed to win a majority of votes on Sunday. Although Erdogan was leading the race by than 2 million votes, it wasn't enough to secure more than 50% of the ballot and avoid the second round. Another vote on May 28 will put him against top rival Kemal, 74, who is backed by Turkey's broadest ever grouping of oppositions. Before Sunday's voting, Erdogan dismissed speculation that he would refuse to leave office if he lost, and now he repeats that message, saying he is prepared to face a runoff if it is necessary. Finally, let us recap the headlines. The higher education institutions urged to conduct extensive research to expedite development in Ethiopia. And the Chinese ambassador to Ethiopia calls upon the Chinese investor to engage in Ethiopia's manufacturing sector. That's all for this edition. You've been watching the news with me, Daniel Kassaon. Thank you for your company. Goodbye and stay safe.